There's a story in my eyes.
I am a fighter, and I'll fight this thing.
Turn the pages of desire.
It came as a shock to all of us, Minnesotans or those who followed the sports scene, when word came out that Scott LeDoux had contracted ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease. Scott has always been a true champion and fought for the heavyweight championship of the world twice, including once right here in the Twin Cities. Scott is fighting this disease, and his friends are rallying to his side as well as supporting his family. One of those events is upcoming on April 10th, which is called A Hope for a Cure, Help for the Caregiver, with concert bringing in people from all over the country. Jimi Jamison, who sang the Rocky songs Eye of the Tiger, Burning Heart, and more. Frank Stallone, who also sang many of those Rocky songs. Alex Ligertwood, who was the 16-year voice of Santana, and also Fergie Frederiksen, who was the lead singer of the group Toto back in the mid-'80s. We hope you support that event. And here's the words of Scott on his career, his life, and his fight against ALS.
I'm 60 years old now, and it's really exciting to see your grandchildren grow up and to see all the profit of all your work that goes on with my children and my grandchildren. And I have a great wife now, Carol, who when I met her 12 years ago, I was driving truck. She inspired me to go into sales because I had a gift to gab. So I went into sales, and now I'm a county commissioner. And one of the charities I did out in Montana, there was a guy there from ESPN, and he said to me, I'm going to get a hold of ESPN and have them call you for an audition. Well, I blew it off. I'm thinking, yeah, right. Well, they called me a couple months later, and I flew out to Hartford and did an audition, and they hired me. I worked there for 5 years and doing shows.
You were good.
I had a lot of fun. You know, people remember all my cliches. There, I said the fighters would fight Dusty Trunks, Willie Get Up, and Kenny Last in rotation. You know, back in the day, when I was fighting, we fought anybody and everybody. You know, the Bobbics, I fought Rodney first, and with that set a mark for a benchmark, and then I fought Dwayne a year later, and we set the state record for attendance in fights. We had 14,000 people at the Met Sports Center, which is torn down now where the Mall of America is, where my wife likes to drive to. But it was really exciting to fight there at the Met Sports Center and fight locally. And, you know, it was a great opportunity for me to see the world and get to know about it. And, you know, the first Rocky movie that came out, and after the fight, Rocky has that club fight, and he goes into the locker room and goes into the little office to get paid. The promoter says, you got the locker fee, you got the towel, the shower. He ended up with $80. Well, so did I. When I fought out in Boston, I fought a 6-round fight out in Boston for $250. I ended up with $80 because Sam Silverman, that was his style. Got the towel, the physical, all that stuff. I never ducked anybody. I fought the best in the world at that time. That's when the cream of the crop, the golden years of heavyweights was around. You know, I fought George Foreman in '76, Ali and Spinks in '77, Weaver for the title in '78, '79 I fought Norton to a draw, '80 I fought Holmes, '81 Coetzee, '82 Page, '83 Bruno, and then I came out of retirement in 1991 and trained for 10 weeks with Mike Tyson. I was 42, he was 25. Oh, been in the ring with 11 world champions, traveled the world. I was blessed so many times. And my first wife, Sandy, who died in '89, she said, we've had a wonderful life. we've seen the world, and we've traveled all around the world, and the memories are ours to keep. And that was a really good point in Madison Square Garden. That was really an impact for me. When I got out of the cab, and right across the street is the Madison Square Garden, I looked up on the marquee and it said Scott LeDoux, main event versus Pedro Soto. I started to cry because my dad had never been on a plane and never traveled around the world, and I felt bad for him. And he worked 39 years in a mine. I never forgot where I came from, and that really impacted me, and so it really hit home for me. I had seen the world and been very blessed to go on those trips. Several months ago, I was diagnosed because my hands are sunken here, and you can see it, and I noticed it and mentioned something to my wife, and I thought it was my shoulder because I've had problems with my shoulder for a long time, and I thought it was shoulder. And then 2.5 years ago, I couldn't button my collar, the top button, and my wife, Carol, had to button my shirts. And then we started noticing things, and so I went in to the neurologist and to have him look at my shoulder, and did an EMG, and then later on he gave me the diagnosis. And it's really troubling to me that my wife has to put my socks on and help me dress, and it's very frustrating to me. I'm really thrilled by the support that we're getting for ALS, and because there is no treatment for ALS, there is no cure. The walker I use is now taking the unsteadiness away, and people need to recognize that ALS is a disease that needs to be fought. I am looking forward to getting ALS recognized, that they need help in their research and get things done. I'm a fighter. I've been a main event fighter from my 7th fight on, and I'm gonna fight in the main event. I'm gonna live as long as I can and as good as I can.
There's a story